Hello and welcome to your guide to reaching level 50 in the nory challenge. So nory, if you don't know, is a dungeon, a 5-player dungeon that you can do to get the nory accessories, which are the nory ring and earring. So this is what they look like when they're nearly maxed out. Based on what round you get to, you'll get a nory reward crate. So if you get to level 50, you'll get rank 11. And then also depending on what level you are, you'll get accessories, you'll get awakening scrolls to upgrade the accessories, and you also get abyssal luna shards, which you can use to get abyssal luna frost that you can use on library gear that you get from library or Ibn Sanctuary. So first thing we're going to go over is the team composition that you want to most efficiently get through the dungeon. Alright, so in your team of 5, you're going to want to have a polar, a mage, healer, and 2 DPS. So the polar is essentially the person that hits the gong and stands in the middle of the mobs and pulls them together using vicious implosion from Oromancy. And then occultism you can also use to CC the mobs and basically hold them there for your team to kill. You want a mage with sorcery to use wave meteor strike because this is essentially the highest damage skill in the game. It's gonna make running through the dungeon just so much easier. You're gonna want a healer, ideally a confessor or anything with songcraft. So confessor, cleric can work also as well. And then you want to have 2 DPS. It can be physical or magic DPS. Ideally you want to have both. And then it also helps to have lasso. You can get that in defense, just for pulling any extra stragglers, or pulling a mob closer to you or out of the way. You want anti-heals. You can get anti-heals from defense as well, or occultism, and also witchcraft. And then you also want to have charms. You'll get charms from songcraft. Charms are going to decrease the defenses of enemies and makes them even more easy to kill. Alright, so I'm going to be going through this guide through the perspective of the polar. So I'm going to be playing Blood Reaver, which is Battle Rage, Occultism, and Oromancy. So for the first round, first thing you want to take note of is if you look at the enemies, they have a buff on their bar with a countdown. Basically, the countdown is how long they are immune to any damage, and so you want to make sure that you don't attack before the countdown is over. So you're also going to see that I track target the mage. This is so that when they cast Meteor Strike, I'll be able to see when the meteor is about to hit, and then right before the meteor hits is when you want to use Vicious Implosion to pull the enemies together. So an example of that would be right here. They cast Meteor Strike, and then I use Implosion right before it hits, and then it basically does a ton of damage. And let's just get through the round really quickly. And here, the combo that I'm doing is I'm using Summon Wraith from Occultism. I'm dropping it before the immune timer goes off, and then I basically use Implosion to pull them into the Wraith, and then use Whirlwind, and it causes an AoE trip. So at round 25, with Kurt, basically, sometimes Kurt will put you in a soup cauldron. If he does that, the healer is going to want to use Mirror's Light to free you from the soup and kill everyone else. Alright, so now we're in round 30. So this is probably the first challenge round. So with round 30, a few things. You'll see right now the Green Man is casting the Storm Flute ability. Basically, you'll see this kind of fog appear around him. When he does that like this, you want to use hammer toss to stun him from a distance, or any ability that stuns. And then you also want to kill the other 4 mobs because they will heal him. And so now we're at round 35. So with this one, basically there's going to be a Plague Doctor, and I will number the other 4 enemies. Basically with this one, you kind of just want to DPS everything down. Sometimes they get put into a coffin where they become immune to any damage, and you'll also see this red circle appear. Basically, you want to damage anyone that's not inside a coffin, and if they're inside the red circle, you want to pull them out the red circle, and pretty much just repeat that until they all die. Alright, so from 36 to 39, it's pretty straightforward, just kind of kill everything. Another good combo that you can use, and we're going to do it right here, is the mage can use God's Whip before they use Meteor. You want to use the God's Whip Ancestral that drops the attack after a delay. So you just cast God's Whip and then cast Meteor, and then we pull after that. Alright, so now we're at round 40. So with round 40, this is another kind of challenging round. Basically with this one, you want to start the round with the highest DPS combo you have. You'll also see the reappearance of the giant red circles, so make sure you pull any enemies outside of the red circles and don't stand inside them. And then you will also see Bellstrom get into his own little personal orange circle. Whenever you see this orange circle, you want to pull the enemies out of it, because while they are standing inside, they will take no damage. So pretty much just keep pulling Bellstrom out of the orange circles, stay outside the red circles, and kill everything. Alright, so now from round 41 to 44, these can get a little annoying. You'll see that the mobs have this kind of yellow circle around them. Basically, if you are inside of that yellow circle, you will be silenced, so you cannot use any spells. If you are the polar, you want to make sure that you have the Quake version of Vicious Implosion, because it counts as a melee attack, so you'll still be able to use it. And then basically you also want to use your highest DPS pulling combos just to kind of get through this smoothly. So from round 41 to 44, I pretty much wait for the mage's Meteor to get off cooldown, and then we pull using Meteor, God's Whip, and I use Vicious Implosion and House Spear, and just try to muscle through it. Alright, so now we're at round 45. This is the Drake round. So this one kind of has a lot, but the secret is that you just have to do as much damage as possible. So you'll see here, first thing I do is I number the 4 outside mobs. Basically, fourth thing here is you want to start out with your high DPS pulling combo, and you want to kill the 4 outside mobs first, because if you don't, they will heal Jake a lot. So you'll see Jake kind of spawn these giant vine things, honestly, just ignore them, stay on Jake. You'll also see he goes through some periods of invincibility. When he does that, you want to just kind of get into a position to damage him and wait until the invincible wears off and kill him from there. And so once you finish Jake, you'll be on the final stretch. So from round 46 to 49, you're basically going to get an idea of the enemies that will spawn in round 50. So pretty much same thing here. You just want to use your high DPS pulling combos to kill them as fast as possible. Pretty straightforward. And then get to 50. Alright, so now we're about to get into round 50, so this is where I will kind of change my class, and depending on your team composition, you might want to change your classes too. Basically, the main thing here is you just want to have as many anti-heal abilities as possible, like I mentioned before. So you're going to want to have boastful roar and defense, you're going to want to have occultism, absorb life force, you want to have witchcraft, enervates. And so basically with round 50, you're going to have this big boss right here. Basically when he dies, the game is over. So you're gonna notice he has a buff, this flag buff. He starts out with 6 flags, and basically in order to kill him, you need to get him down to 0. He will spawn these extra mobs, and basically for every mob you kill, it's gonna take away one of his flags. And then eventually when he gets down to 2 flags, you have to basically kill the last 2 mobs at the same time in order for him to lose the flag buff completely and kill him. So basically what we're doing in round 50 is we want to first of all get him down to as low health as possible, which is basically 0%. And then for every mob that he spawns, he will basically spawn the Shade Strikers, which are healers. And so you want to kill the healers as fast as possible. Basically the instant that they spawn, you want to kill them. You can use Stillness from Witchcraft to silence them so they can't heal. You can also use Enervate from Witchcraft to anti-heal on the big boss as well as the healers. And basically you want to get to the point where he has 2 flags. So that's about right now. He has 2 flags left. So you notice that we're not going to kill the Shade Striker instantly because we need the other one to spawn in order to kill them both at the same time. So now the other one is spawned. So I have them marked. Basically the goal now is to basically kill the 2 mobs, and then that will allow us to kill the boss. So in this case, as you can see, they did not die at the same time, so he gained a flag back, which means that we have to try again. So we're gonna wait for them to spawn again and then try to kill them from there. Alright, so he spawned the Sage Striker there. I'm gonna mark it, and then we're basically gonna wait until he gets another one. Another note here about this round is you're gonna see lava on the ground. You're gonna want to step in the lava occasionally, because it's gonna prevent you from being petrified. And when you're petrified, you can't do anything. Right, so he spawns the second mob. So right here, what I'm doing is I'm basically calling for everything to be pulled together. So this is where whoever has occultism, you're gonna want to use your vortex. You're gonna want to use your Vicious Implosion, Hell Spirits to basically lock everything together, and so that way you can kill them all at the same time. And you did it. Congratulations.